Their apex predator Bodyguard switched sides as soon as it saw the human. Chapter 1. Arrival of the human in the galactic year 9092, aboard the High Command ship Vrexiel, the Tolaran Empire, one of the most feared species in the Orion Arm, prepared to finalize their conquest of the Elleran Confederacy. The Tolarans were apex predators, reptilian giants evolved on a death world, bred for war and domination. Their elite royal guard included only the fiercest of their kind, genetically enhanced and bonded to protect their high lords. The Tolaran Empire had recently captured an oddity, a lone human explorer found drifting near the battle-scarred edge of Sector Delta 71. The human was unconscious, injured, and seemingly harmless. Still, out of curiosity and arrogance, they brought him aboard. They named him Specimen 88. General Kotor, a battle-hardened behemoth with titanium-forged armor fused into his exoskeleton, took interest in this primitive. The human, named David Wren, regained consciousness in chains. He smiled. No fear. Just curiosity. It unnerved Kotor. Chapter 2. The Bodyguard Zal'vak, the most fearsome of the Tolaran Royal Guard, was assigned to monitor David. A 12-foot-tall apex predator with a hide impervious to blasters and claws that could tear steel, Zal'vak had never failed to obey an order. Until now. From the moment Zal'vak entered the holding chamber, David looked him dead in the eye. "You're not the scariest thing I've seen," he said casually. Zal'vak tilted his head, intrigued. This creature, so small, dared to speak with confidence. His species had conquered 100 worlds. No one dared talk to a Tolaran like this. Yet David kept speaking, not pleading, not negotiating, but talking, as if to an equal. Something ancient stirred in Zal'vak's mind. A genetic whisper, an ancestral fear, not of the human, but of what the human represented. Chapter 3. The test. High Lord Vrox decided to amuse himself. He ordered David released into the combat arena, barehanded, against a minor predator from the Tolaran hunting worlds. Zal'vak was to watch. The predator lunged. David moved. 1 motion. 1 precise counter. The predator's neck snapped like a twig. Zal'vak narrowed his eyes. This wasn't luck. This wasn't reflex. This was training. "What are you?" Zal'vak finally asked. David replied, "Human. That's all you need to know." But it wasn't all. Zal'vak spent the next cycles accessing forbidden archives. Stories of Earth. Of humanity. Wars. Resilience. Madness. Brilliance. Violence beyond logic. And something else. Choice. Chapter 4. Defiance. When Kotor ordered Zal'vak to execute David for defiance, Zal'vak hesitated. Then he turned. Claws slashed out. Kotor's head hit the steel floor, rolling like a war trophy. Alarm screamed. Zal'vak stood between David and the Empire. "Why?" David asked. Zal'vak growled. "Because I've seen the future. And it speaks your language." Chapter 5. The escape. With Zal'vak's help, David stormed the command deck. Blaster bolts ricocheted off Zal'vak's armored hide. David moved like liquid death, every step calculated, every enemy falling before he fully turned. The ship was theirs. The Tolaran fleet hesitated. Their strongest warrior had changed allegiance. A message was broadcast. "To all who hear this, the humans have returned. And this time, they're not asking." Chapter 6. Awakening of fear. Across the galaxy, ancient species stirred. Long ago, they had watched humanity tear itself apart and rebuild from ashes. They had closed the gates of diplomacy, quarantined Earth, and erased its name from star charts. They thought it was over. But now, a single human had ignited the spark again. The Tlaran Empire fractured within days. Revolts sparked by whispers of a species that does not kneel. And leading the charge? Zal'vak, the apex predator who had seen what no one else could see, the inevitability of human dominance. Chapter 7. The rising. David and Zal'vak formed an alliance unlike any seen before. A coalition of defectors, rebels, and ancient AI fleets dormant for centuries. The humans didn't conquer. They changed the game. They brought strategy, madness, and a kind of defiant hope that couldn't be calculated. Systems fell. Not to war, but to ideas. Humanity wasn't a race. It was a contagion of freedom. Chapter 8. The legends spread. Stories spread faster than facts. Of a human who looked a god of war in the eye and made him switch sides. Of a predator who found his purpose not in domination, but in loyalty. Of a species that didn't want control, just the right to be. That scared the galaxy more than any fleet. Chapter 9. The gathering storm. In the months that followed, resistance movements coalesced under a single banner, one. Led by David Wren. His leadership wasn't about command, but inspiration. His words echoed through subspace channels, igniting revolts even in the most secure systems. Zal'vak became a symbol. The warrior who chose freedom over power, purpose over programming. And on the edge of known space, a fleet unlike any seen before was forming. Made of exiled engineers, forgotten war machines, and those who believed in the right to choose. The Tlaran High Command issued an ultimatum to all its worlds. Crush the human uprising or be crushed. But many worlds never replied. They were already gone. Chapter 10. Earth reborn. No one expected Earth to reappear. Buried under ancient treaties and galactic prohibitions, the homeworld of humanity was thought to be lifeless or radioactive. But David brought them there. The planet was alive, green, powerful, mysterious. Its skies were defended by satellite mines older than some star empires. And deep within Earth's crust slept technologies that predated known galactic history. Zal'vak knelt before it. Not in reverence, but in respect. Now I understand, he said. You were never gone. You were waiting. Chapter 11. Tlaran retaliation. The Tlarans struck back. Armadas of dreadnoughts, legions of engineered beasts, assassins, and viral intelligences. But they faced not a military, they faced a movement. David unleashed guerrilla tactics, psychological warfare, deepfake broadcasts, and the most terrifying weapon of all, unity. Zal'vak led elite raids, each one dismantling core Tlaran infrastructure, prisons, cloning labs, propaganda hubs. The Empire began to collapse from the inside. Chapter 12. The turning point. A massive Tlaran invasion force targeted Earth. But waiting for them were not just human defenders, but fleets of the awoken AI from the Helix Nebula and the crystalline sentinels of Zar. The battle lasted 18 days. When it ended, the Tlaran High Command was no more. And at the center of the final assault, David and Zal'vak, fighting side by side. Chapter 13. The Declaration after the war. A message was transmitted from Earth. We are humanity. We do not seek to rule. We seek to live. But if you try to take that from us, know this: no cage, no crown, No empire will ever contain us again. Zal'vak stood beside him, now more than a bodyguard. He was a symbol of what could change. Even the most terrifying beast could choose to be more. Chapter 14. Legacy of the Predator. Generations later, children across the stars would learn of Zal'vak not as a monster, but as the first of many apex predators to reject their chains. He had seen humanity not as prey, but as the future, and in that vision, he found his freedom. Epilogue. The choice. All across the galaxy, species whispered the same question. What did the human do to make the monster switch sides? And the answer remained the same. He didn't command. He didn't threaten. He simply gave him a choice. And that choice changed everything.